The city sprawls beneath a blanket of fog, its iconic hills rising like gentle giants. Cable cars clatter along the tracks, their bells ringing a cheerful tune as they ascend steep streets. Colorful Victorian houses line the avenues, each telling a story of the past. The scent of fresh sourdough wafts from nearby bakeries, mingling with the salty breeze from the bay. As the sun dips below the horizon, the skyline glows, casting a magical spell over the bustling streets. From driver's cockpit. In order to be of service, I need to walk that fine line of allowing those waiting to board first to awaken, to see the person in the wheelchair who may be behind them or to the side. I have to be on guard with my tone of voice and how I express myself. It is important to note that, from the driver's perspective, most conflict arises when approaching the front door from behind and to the right. The blind spot is larger when the doors are open because they partially block the side and rear views. Hiding behind the open doors causes hurt feelings. I have an incredible opportunity to be a guide. Sometimes it is simpler to let those passengers board first if the time between buses is short. If the number of those intending increases beyond 4 or 5 with more boarding in the rear, loading the chair first is best. Those who are allowed up the front steps first usually sit down in the first 2 chairs under the wheel well and block the aisle. Others sit down in the flip-up seats where the wheelchair needs to secure. Young people with earbuds on and others with children enter through the middle door and sit in the wheelchair area, inattentive to my request to make room. Take 8. Late ring. Stop requests into. One defect that does not usually appear on the defect card is that of a stop request. Most of the time as operators, we become so familiar with our routine that we almost don't need the stop request lights or bell to know where and when people are getting off the bus. Likewise, we know where we must stop and open the doors, even if it first appears that no one is intending to board in the zone. Hospital stops are a no-brainer for stopping and lowering the kneeler automatically. Certain stops around corners and with limited sight distance are also good places to stop, even if we hear no ring. XT, busy intersection like Market and Van Ness. I must be clear of fear as to whether latecomers will call in on 311 and complain that I passed them up. There appears to be an invisible ledger of karma that can keep trouble at bay if I have waited for runners. The same is true for right-of-way with other cars. God usually gives me a signal that my grace is about ready to expire. If close, hero's journey. The art of driving a bus calls start occurring with unusual frequency. I immediately pray for a larger space cushion between vehicles and waiting for passengers to board and sit. Exterior. BART station pickup at 16 Mission. Just yesterday, as a passenger, I saw this happen several times while occupying the last seat at the back of the bus. People would run from the BART station steps on the side of the bus, and I could see them running, but the operator could not see them and pulled away. This makes us look bad, but we aren't intentionally passing them up. Interior hero in driver's seat, looking up at interior mirror. Anger arises because I pass by a stop, and I have come to use my intuition to know when this is likely to happen. Sure enough, I can stop without a ring at a baby stop and see someone exit the back door without a ring. Indeed, operators with years of experience do develop extrasensory perception, and after trial and error of being told about our mother or our birthright, we adapt our sixth sense as to when and where we will need to stop without a request. Tale 9. Magical Flight. The streets of F. Aves v. Streets Islands v. Curbs Full Shot. Market Street downtown. Ferry, clock tower. Background. My friends always ask me about what line I am driving. Then they ask about the F streetcar line on Market Street. The railway has a number of historic streetcars from around the world, and they have been restored and repainted in colors from cities such as Melbourne, Philadelphia, Milan, and Kansas City. It is a wonder to see these multicolored streetcars make their proud way down Market Street. Like most streets in San Francisco, we just use the name of the street when we converse, so we refer to our promenade thoroughfare as Market. We rarely add the word street, except when directing those to our numbered avenues or streets. The avenues are out west by Ocean Beach, the Sunset, and the Richmond, and streets are downtown, Soma, or in the Mission. Curiously, few visitors or first-timers are aware of this. The question, "Do you go to 25th?" can be answered incorrectly by just saying yes or no. If on a crosstown bus, we must get avenue or street from the visitor. If leaving downtown, we must also ask, "Do you mean street or avenue?" Hero's Journey. The art of driving a bus as 25th Avenue is nowhere near 25th Street, so by answering yes, someone can be misled by several miles from their intended destination by only giving the number without street or avenue. This can add over an hour to transit time. Exterior. Make sure you get the cross street when asking for directions. Make sure the other party is not giving you a side street as a cross street. A side street is only 1 or 2 blocks long. Many of us are unfamiliar with these side streets or alleyways. I would love a driver test about the streets of San Francisco, and I know certain shuttle companies do have this. I would like to see a tourist question guide added to our training. Do you go to BART? Do you go to Fisherman's Wharf? Do you go to the train station? Inevitably, the time and place where these questions are asked are as predictable as the tides. Exterior, islands and curbs. Morning, Sunday at 4th and Market. The single aspect that puts San Francisco in the #1 spot of living up to the phrase, "the city that knows how," is our flexibility about street closures and reroutes for ongoing and recurring special events. I don't believe any other major metropolitan area has as many street fairs, farmers markets, special events, and parades as we do. The list goes on for motorcade delays like marathons and races, the Bay to Breakers before Memorial Day weekend, various street fairs, Juneteenth, the Cherry Blossom Festival, Chinese New Year, the Dragon Parade, Freedom Parade, Door Alley, Castro, Folsom, Fillmore Jazz, and Union Street fairs, North Beach art shows, art crawls, bike races, Fleet Week, and on and on. All have alerts and special reroutes and delays. The only other thing to talk about is the islands on Market. If you look carefully at the Muni bus stop pole, the sign says weekdays only for certain buses. Those looking for express service would do well to read this information.